to the latest episode of the Lisa Pezik Show. Now, if you've been tuning into my show for a while, you're going to notice that I sound a little bit deeper than normal. I am unfortunately getting over a bug. So this podcast is going to be short, but right to the point about heart-centered selling. I was at a play place with my little guy who's 5 this past weekend. He had a play date with one of his buddies from school, and moms, you know that those play places are like breeding grounds of just germs, and we washed our hands, we were sanitizing, we did all the stuff, but he still happened to get a little bit of a cough and a bug, and then of course when he gets sick, I always get sick, and that's just how it goes. So actually, I sound worse than I feel. I'm feeling a lot better, which is why I'm jumping in here and bringing the goods to you because, selling is so necessary to success. And people get so freaked out and so weirded out about that word selling. Well, listen, selling is serving. And I was just at a mastermind retreat on top of being sick. And I had the opportunity to listen to a speaker named Richard Rossi. He works with kids. He's built an 8-figure company, marketing company, and sold it. He's been around the block, and he's just an incredible human. And he said something that made me sit up in my chair, open up my eyes even bigger and go, whoa. Open up my heart even bigger, which is why I called it heart-centered selling, because he said, a life isn't changed and a dollar isn't made until you sell, until something is sold. Once something is sold, a dollar can be earned and a life can be changed. And I was like, wow. You know, like so simple, but so true, because you think about business owners, or even if you're not in business and you're tuning into this, in your relationships, in your life, the ones that are the most committed are the ones where change really happens. Your marriage, your parenting, your relationships, like you're committed to each other. And that's when deep change happens. And it's good. It's goodness. In business, when people invest in you and they get in your products and your programs and your services and your coaching and your consults, that's when the real change happens, when there's skin in the game, when they've invested. They didn't come and hear you talk for free. Yeah, a life can certainly be changed then, but not the deep transformation that we're looking for. The people that will be your raving fans, your testimonials, they'll refer, they'll buy more, they'll get that outcome that you know you deliver that changes their life and then changes the world. For me, that's what drives me. It's that ripple effect of helping people, help people, help people. So if we don't sell, if we don't make an offer, if we don't extend our hand and say, this is how you can work further with me, then that transformation might not happen. It might stay surface level. And we don't want that. You think about that small talk we talk about, or hey, how's your day? How's the weather? That is just talk for the sake of talk. It's when you really get into a deep conversation with someone that you feel that human connection. Our free stuff in business is great and it's necessary. And people need to know if they like us and what we're all about. And they need to see if they care about the things that we care about. But when you get that sale and people follow through and do the work, that's the most amazing part, I think, of being in business. So, authentic selling, heart-centered selling. How do we get comfortable with that word sell? I got 3 things for you. Number 1, you're selling it because it's a piece of who you are. It's a piece of what gets you out of bed in the morning And I say a piece because, of course, our family and loved ones and all of that gets us out of bed in the morning. But that purpose, the reason why we pour our heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears into the services that we deliver. I'm helping a client get her first course online. 3 years in the making. She's had it in her head. We've been able to get it up, filmed, launched, funnel, like the whole bit in a matter of 4 months. It's a beast of a course. It's not 8 modules. It's so good, like full funnel, full everything. She went the full gamut. Sales video, thank you video, worksheets. Like, it's a beast. It's going to help so many people. And we were joking that it's like a labor of love, right? Because her other friend was saying, yeah, it took me 9 months to get my course, up. And we're like, it's a labor of love. And it is. You wouldn't have children if you didn't intend to love them and provide for them and care for them. And being a mom or a dad isn't a piece of who you are. It's an identity that you connected with and you wanted to have. The same goes for your products and programs. If you don't want to sell it, then don't. Recreate it. Go back and tweak it. Scrap it and start fresh. If you don't like love it, if there isn't that piece of you're like, this is the best of what I got. Not saying it's perfect, but the best of what I have to date, then don't sell it. I look back at things I've written, blog posts, books, webinars I've done from like 3-5 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, they're so bad. But then I flip that to go, it's not that they're so bad. That's where I was at 3 to 5 years ago. And look at how far I've come now. So honor that journey. So I'm not saying you have to go, well, this sucks, so I'm not going to put it out. If you can honestly look at that and go, this is the best of what I got right now, baby, and I love this, or this is the best of what I got, and I'm going to test it and tweak it, see what happens, then launch it. But if you can't say that, then don't. It has to feel like it matters to you and it's a piece of you. So selling isn't weird because you don't get all weird when you talk about your children. You're like, I have this 5-year-old and his name's Oliver and, yeah, he's okay. You're like, oh my God, let me tell you about the craziest thing my 5-year-old did, or the cutest thing my 5-year-old did, or, he wrapped his arms around me and said how much he loved me, or whatever it is. Like, we don't get all weird, and we don't overthink pieces that we identify with. So you got to own your products and services. You got to love them, or else no one else is going to love them. So your product and service is something that matters to you. That's number one that makes it heart-centered, authentic selling. If it matters and you know it's going to change somebody's life, you're like, yes, I want you to have this in your hands. Yes, I want you to work with me. Number two, why they need it. This should be in every sales video, sales email, long form copy, like however you're selling. Why they need it. Need, not would like it, will try it. Why they need it. Because necessity drives people, right? You ever hear that story about how, like, we were talking about that in the mastermind event, how when you hear the like superhuman story of like a baby's like trapped in a car in an accident, and the mom like legit like goes and like gets this superhuman strength and lifts the car up and saves her baby. But if it wouldn't be for the fact that her baby was under there, if it was just like a random day and a random stranger, she wouldn't be able to lift that car. But because it's her baby, people do these crazy things when called upon, when needed, when necessary. You have to tell them why they need it. And this is where a lot of mentors and a lot of people get into the pain point selling. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Some people like to go aspirational selling, which I love. Imagine when, visualize a time. Can you imagine when you will be slimmer, have more money, sell your house quicker, whatever it is that you're selling, and your dog listen, whatever it is. I like that, but it doesn't Aspirational selling and pain point selling is different than necessity selling. Necessity is like, how much longer are you going to be slaving away, working out hours on end, and your 5-year-old that's watching you thinks that all they have to do is work, 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 work. There's no time for play. There's no time for rest. You're showing them that health and wellness and nutrition is not fun. It's work. It's hard. It sucks. You hate it. You complain about it. Have you ever thought there's a better way? With my blah, blah, blah 21-day mindfulness and recovery program, you're going to see how you can balance and reset your hormones. I'm just making this up. This is not a program of mine. You can see how you can balance and reset your hormones so that you don't have to work so hard. You're happier. And your little guy sees a mom who's happy and healthy and loving and present. That's why you need this program. Because time is a ticking and you're setting the example and they're watching. Different than pain point or aspirational selling, right? That necessity is kind of shaking them up a little bit and thinking bigger than themselves. So when you hit them with that need or that necessity, it's like you're just stating the facts. You're not trying to sway them one way or the other. You're like, these are the facts, people. This is why you need it. And then number 3, my favorite, why you love it. Heart-centered, authentic selling. You must talk about why you love your product, why you care. Because if you don't care, they don't care. You have to give them a reason to care. At the mastermind event, I'm going to keep going back to this because it literally happened a few days ago. It's so fresh in my brain. A peer of mine talked about gratitude. And we've all been taught about gratitude. We know we need to gratitude journal, and gratitude leads to more happiness, more productivity. And like, you get it. Gratitude is not a new concept. But he shared personal stories, and I won't share his story because that's his story to share. But he shared personal stories of a ripple effect that happened because he chose to, pardon me, he chose to go on a gratitude tour and go back and say thank you to people who made a difference in his life when he was going through a tough time. And every story, every interaction, it made me get it. It made me get how gratitude truly does change lives, our own, others. Like, I just saw it through a different lens because he shared that with me, why he cares so much about how much gratitude has changed his life. That's why he loves talking about gratitude. That's why he helps people with gratitude, right? Why do you love what you do? Or when you're selling something, why do you love that exact product or service that you're selling? Tell a story about it. Get personal with it. Tell them why you love it. Because if you love it, they'll love it. But if you're like, you should buy this because of this, and you're silly if you don't, and you get like stern and like hard about it, people are going to run. When you stay light and happy and tell people why you love it, it's just giving them a reason to care about what you care about. And it unites us. And that's heart-centered selling. Because again, you're not trying to sway people. You're telling them why you love it. So different than when you recommend wine or clothing or a store or a vacation or a hotel. You rave to people how much you love it. So people are like, cool, I'm going to go buy that wine, or I'm going to book that service or go to that hotel. You weren't really trying to sell them. You were just telling them how much you love it, and that sold it for you. So I want you to do that when you're selling. So to recap, You got to own it. The product, service that you're selling. It's a piece of you. It's no different than your mom, your dad, I'm a business strategist that gets you online. And all of my programs are around that. And I own that. I own all of my products and services and I know they work. So you own it. Why they need it. Not pain point, not aspirational. Why they need it. Paint that picture of why they need it. And lastly, why you love it. When you can speak honestly from the heart, why you love it, everything changes. You don't get all, stern and weird or crazy. You're just you because you're having a conversation like you would about anything else. It just so happens to be about your product or your service. And get excited about it. One thing people always say to me is, I love your energy. I know I'm a little bit lower energy today because honestly, I can't breathe through my nose and you can hear me sniffling, I'm half dying here. But I'm doing this because I genuinely love it. Again, I love my podcast. I identify as being a podcaster and I love getting this free content out to you because I know it matters. You're going to sell better and you're going to help more people. And that's why it matters to me. That's why you need this podcast. Because if you're not selling right, you're not making sales, money isn't being earned, and lives aren't being changed. And lastly, I love podcasting because it can be broadcasted absolutely anywhere. It shows our uniqueness because we all have different perspectives. We're all leaders, whether we like it or not. And I love that with the click of a button, I can get these podcasts up and out to you that you can listen anytime you need it, 24/7. You got a lifeline. You got to phone a friend. You got a lifeline to me in this podcast. When you're overwhelmed or you're upset or you're worried about selling, you're going to come back to this podcast and you're going to hit all those three things. That's why I love podcasts. See, there, I'm selling my podcast to you. So you can do this. Go back, use those three things. And if you need more help, so let's say you're not sure. You're not sure like what you're owning. You're not sure if it's good enough, if it's the best of what you got. You're not sure why your clients need it. Or potential clients need it. You're not sure why you love it. You need help tasking through that. That's where the free 15-minute strategy call comes in, brainstorming call comes in. I have you fill out a little form that lets me know about you. I send you my Calendly link, and off we go. So at www.lisapezik.com, the bottom of every page, you'll see where you can book in for that strategy session. You give me your name and email, I'll reach out to you, and off we go. You don't have to fear selling. You don't have to get all weird about it. We're going to shift your mindset. We're going to shift your focus, and we're going to get you some sales on the next thing that you launch so that you can change some lives and you can have some dollars earned, because that's what it's all about. Clients and sales are the lifeblood to every single business, whether it's online or offline. So let's get you on the wagon, off and going. www.lisapezik.com, bottom of every page. I hope to see you on a strategy call. And thank you, because we do have a face-to-face. If you got Zoom, I'm a face-to-face person, that connection. Thank you for tuning in to the Lisa Pezik Show, and I'll see you again next time.